I'm trying to do the best I can to get you the full shot there, but I think you can see what I'm doing. I've just got some pliers, and you know, on most pliers they got that slip joint there, so you can make them bigger like that, see? Or you pull them that way and have it tight. And I'm gonna probably do it that way so that they're a little bit bigger. Okay? Did you ever know that? Oh, and by the way, you see this little area right there? Did you know that will cut electrical wire? Yeah, it will. I've done it a few times, and it works pretty good if you don't have your regular cutters. Okay, so now I'm gonna try to keep the light on this thing, and let's just see what I can do here. You see why too, with this cabinet being so small, I'm kind of wanting to come in at an angle. There's no way I could even be crouched down here the way I am, because the door would have been in my way. I would have had to been way out here in the middle and backing up and stuff. It's really easy to spring your hinges, no matter what kind of hinges you have. You don't have to have the concealed hinges. Any type of hinge could break off, could bend off, could pull the screws out of the particle board, anything like that. Okay, so now, yeah, righty tighty, lefty loosey. See, I have to think about that on this because I'm upside down now. Okay, righty tighty, lefty loosey. So this time I have to actually go to the right, but if I were to be standing in front of this, I'm actually going to the left. Does that make sense? Okay, so I'm just going to loosen that up, and that wasn't that tight on there. I'll have to be careful when I put it back, and it looks like they had pipe dope. That's what they had, pipe dope from before. Okay, just pull that. This whole thing's coming down on me. I don't want the whole thing to come down. I'll take it down because it's not that tight anyways. We'll talk about this part in a minute. Okay, so I got that. I'm gonna just keep the camera rolling here, and we'll get you up here, and I'll show you a little bit more here what's going on here. Okay, so see, here's the plunger rod that went in there, and see, it's got a little ball on it. Here's a nice little washer. I like that. See, this had a little washer so that when that went down, and then this tightened up on there. The idea is that the washer gets smashed down, you're not going to have any water go out of there. Then that plunges in on that hole back there. Okay, and see, this one came down. See, it's got this little doohickey here that goes up on that rod on the back here. See, if I pull on this rod here, this rod will come straight out now. See, I didn't want to take it all the way out. Now I've got to fish it back. See, like that. Now I've got it there. Okay, I'll fish it back down in there. And that rod goes through that hole, okay? And then you can adjust that as well as adjust this. And see, some of them don't have this. They have a little bolt there. Oh, lots of them actually have this little thumb turn, but lots of times you can't get that tight enough. So I just take a little pair of pliers, set it on there, and tighten it. But remember, you can only tighten that ever so little before it wants to snap off, especially if you have one that's 20 years old like this one. If I were to tighten this a little bit and think, oh, I'm just going to do a little bit more, I could snap it off. And I've done that before. And so you have to be careful tightening those up. And it's a tight squeeze back in there, okay? And then see on this, you see how this gets put on there is with this V thing. I'm trying to do this so that you can see. See, I'm not gonna remove it off of this second one. Well, I can if I want it. I just know it's on the second one. And you have to pinch these together in order to slide it, see? You get it that far, and then that comes out, and then this pulls, and then you can pull this out, see? Like that. That's what that little thing looks like. And if you've lost yours, did you know you can go to the hardware store and you should be able to buy just this? I've done it before, okay? So now you put that side in, and see, to get this here, you have to bend it far enough to put it on there, and then when you let go, it just stops. And if you want to slid on further, you just pinch it together and slide it. See, this is free sliding, but if you don't want to get it when you're done to have it barely on, because eventually that's going to pop off, and then that's going to be underneath the sink, and you're going to have it like that, and it's going to work for a while, and then pretty soon it's not going to work. You're going to be thinking, what's going on? It's because this thing popped off. So see, I don't like to get it any closer than that. If I can slide it over a little bit more, I'll do it like that. But every sink is different on how this finagles up through there, okay? And so that's how all that stuff works. I'm just going to leave that there, and now I should be able to pull this straight up because the plunger was keeping it from coming up, right? Oh, okay. And look at that. Nothing on it. See there? And sometimes you can unscrew this top with it all connected in there. You know, this particular one, I tried that before, and I don't know if it was because it was so hard to get to do, I wasn't going to mess with it. There might be threads on there, and if I took a pair of pliers and really bore down, I might be able to unscrew it, but I don't know if it unscrews or not, and I don't really care. I don't need to worry about that. And sometimes these tops are reverse threads, meaning to tighten it, you would tighten it to the left instead of loosening it to the left. You see what I mean? And so if I put a pair of pliers on there, I would hate to get it the wrong way and bear down on it, thinking I'm loosening it when I'm tightening it, and then have the threads break off because this is 25 years old and it's all rusty and all that kind of stuff. So I'm not even gonna mess with that. You see what I mean? But I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna clean it all off and all that kind of stuff. And now what I can do is, where's my sponge? See, my gloves would be all messed up anyways. What I can do is look down through that hole, make sure there's no clumps of hair in there, and make sure you don't forget to turn the water on, because I've done it once where I had everything disconnected and I was going to rinse something off. I turned the water on and it started spilling out there, and I thought, stupid Joe. Okay, let's take a look here. Okay, not much there, is there? There's a little bit of stuff on the side, but nothing major. But I'm gonna still take my my toothbrush up through there, back and forth, back and forth. That's why I'm gonna put the bucket back down there. I could probably fit my big Homer bucket down there now, right? I could put that under there, turn that on for a few seconds, brush this out, rinse it out, do all that kind of stuff, pull this back out. Okay, so I'm gonna get that all cleaned now, I think, and get ready with my toothbrush, slide it through there back and forth, have a bucket here, and kind of clean that out and all that kind of stuff, and look and see where we go next. Stick around, because hey, the more you watch, the more you learn. That's just how it works. Oh, I forgot to tell you, wear some eyewear too. I've got these on, and I've got all this clean now, and I just used a toothbrush on the inside and a little metal wire brush to get off all the stuff on the threads. Okay, I can see there's still just a little on that one, and I guess I could look at these a little bit more closely, but That's how clean you want the threads. And I've already cleaned out on the inside. That plumber's pipe dope, that's been on there for 20 years, and it just cakes on here and kind of flakes off, and it's dry. If I were to try to put these on without cleaning that off, I'll bet you 95% of the time you're going to get a leak. Okay, so why chance it? Why not just get it all off? And see, I cleaned off these, and so I had to slide this off. You just be careful when you take things off. You know how they go back on. Okay, that's another vinyl washer. This one's a different size than the other one. See how much thinner that is? See how thick this one is? That's because this one is 1.5 to 1.5 inches, and this is 1.5 to 1.25 inches. Okay, and so see, I slid that off, cleaned out the insides of there, took this one off, cleaned out everything on the inside, and put this back on. Because see, this is fat on the one side, so it doesn't fall off, and then that washer kind of has, it's concaved. It kind of goes down at an angle. You see that? That's because inside the P-trap, I don't know if you can see that one little edge right there is kind of concaved. You see it up in here? See? It's sort of concave. So when the trap goes in here, I'd have to look at this, but I think, let's see, I think it's like that. See how this is concaved? And that is concave, and that fits together like that. And then when you tighten the nut down, you know, that pulls together. So you don't need anything there. You just need the washer for up above, and then that goes into something else. Well, on one, it would go into this, okay, from the other, and then this washer fits right down in that concaved area, see? Like that. And this is the one that goes up first. Remember, that goes up high. And so I know, see, if I were to look at this, I know this goes in like that because the concave is down. So when it goes down in there, it fits. And you have to make sure it fits down in there. You got to be careful with it as you go. And then when you slide it up on the pipe, you have to tighten it up because you don't want to get the cattywampus in there, or that's going to make it leak. And then you tighten it down, and then that seal sucks on there tight and wraps around the pipe and all that, okay? So you got to make sure that you remember how this goes together, okay? Well, I've got all these pieces cleaned up and stuff, and I'm not going to use any plumbing pipe dope, I call it. I mean, if you don't have anything else, yeah, you could put pipe dope back on there. You could put this other stuff called Rector Seal, and Rector Seal is kind of like a pipe dope, and that's usually for gas fittings, but it'll fit on the threads too. But I don't like doing that. I always like to have my Teflon tape around. Okay, and it's just fairly thin. Look how thin that is. See, it's on this roll, and I'm going to wrap that around the threads. Okay, I always make sure that I have some of that around because I never know when I'm going to need it, and then I never know when it's going to run out. You don't. Last thing you want is to be in the middle of the job and then you run out. You don't have enough, and you think, I got it on one wrap around, and I guess that's going to have to be good enough. Well, it's not good enough. You got to give it a few spins around on your threads, on the threads here, so when it tightens up, this tightens up on there too, and then you'll make sure that you don't have a leak. Now, years ago, they didn't use this. I've seen it. I've seen it where they've just tightened this down with nothing. Okay, with no pipe dope, with no Rector Seal, with no Teflon tape, and sometimes you can get away with nothing. on any of these, okay, when they're brand new. This isn't brand new. This thing is 20 years old. I'm using this. This is my safety net. This is my security blanket. This is my double checking to make sure that it's not going to leak. No ifs, ands, or buts once I put this on. So why not put it on? Not guess at it, because once you put everything on without this Teflon tape and you get a little drip, then guess what? You've got to take the whole thing apart, and you'll be hearing me in the background. Yeah, VideoJoe said I should put Teflon tape on there. I knew I should have put that stuff on there.